Good morning, Facebook. What is going on? Just wanted to do a quick video today. Sorry I didn't get one out yesterday. I was partway through, done about 15 minutes of a live, had a phone call, interrupted it, and it just never got back to it. So we'll touch on that topic again another day because I think that's a pretty interesting one on how to figure out how much food you should be eating. But today I just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about making sure you're working with good information. I think this is a pretty critical when trying to get to your desired outcome, right? It's important that you have good information. Most of you know we spend a lot of time backpacking in the wilderness, and one of the ways we kind of figure out routes is I use Google Earth a lot, and so I get on Google Earth and look at the different lakes and places up in the Sawtooth, and then we kind of put a plan together to get up to these locations. And some of these lakes that do not have trails to them, there's not a lot of information available on how to get there, and so you got to rely a lot on what you can find. If you can talk to somebody that's been there, even better. But a lot of times you're kind of just guessing unless you've got a GPS that can tell you exactly where you're at. And so it's important to make sure you've got good information, because slight deviation in course, can cause you a lot of problems and a lot of lost progress. And with weight loss and health, it's similar. If you don't have the right information, things can send you down the wrong path, or you can end up far away from where you want to be. And as you look back over the years, there's been a lot of bad information on health and nutrition and weight loss and things like that. And so it's important that you're working with good information. And one of the examples I think about for this a lot is my mom. My mom struggled most of her life with being overweight, and it wasn't for not trying. My mom worked really hard at trying to follow the information that she had at the time. And I remember a few things from our childhood, as we were growing up. I think because my mom was overweight, she was very fat phobic, right? Very scared to eat anything with a lot of fat, and was always looking for the alternative to higher fat, because that was the information that was kind of dominant in that in those days, was if you eat fat, you're going to be fat, right? So they made a lot of man-made foods, taking out the fats. Like I know at our house, like margarine was a big staple, and butter was a no-no, because butter had a lot of fats, and margarine was more of a man-made product. And so you get down the road, and now we realize that margarine was horrible, and butter is a better option, for health. So, but my mom worked with the information that she had, right? Fat was bad, margarine was better than butter. You had to eat a lot of grains and dairy. We ate cereal like forever. In fact, Josh, I don't think he would be alive today if it wasn't for cereal, right? Like my younger brother, that's what he lived on for like 19 years, was cereal, like Frosted Flakes and milk. And when you look at the nutrition in that stuff today, looking back on that, is just horrible, right? You're talking processed carbohydrates and sugar, and then you're dumping milk and stuff on top of that, which is another another problem. But that was, back in the day, that was the advice, was a lot of, you need whole grains, and you need milk. And so we were eating a lot of sugary cereal with milk on it, and that was causing a lot of problems. Now that you look at it, knowing the information now, it's different, And Diet Coke was another big staple at the house, because again, it was diet, right? And so the information again that was given was that Diet Coke was was good for you. And now we know that there's, so many chemicals and things that are in Diet Coke that are just as bad for you as the regular Coke. So I think it's just making sure you're working with, the right information. Again, mayonnaise was something that we didn't use a lot of at home. We used Miracle Whip. And again, the margarine was something that was used a lot. Vegetable oils, we never used a lot of like olive oils or avocado oil that you can find today. And so I think just making sure you're staying up to date on having good information when you're trying to get to where you want to go, And a lot of times that information over time can change. So it's important to stay up on information that's coming, and making sure again that you're working with the right information. Again, I think my mom always tried to do what she felt was best, with the information that we had as a family trying to eat, And again, Wonder Bread was something we ate quite a bit of, white breads. And looking back on it now, we ate a lot of complex carbohydrates between the cereal, the milk, the breads, and then we were eating trans fats from like the margarine and some of those products that, again, back in the day were sold as healthy and good for you. And now we know, 20 years later, that just wasn't the case. We had bad information. And so again, I think there's a lot of good information coming out on healthy fats, on that fat doesn't necessarily make you fat, that sometimes it's the wrong combinations of foods, and again, processed foods, man-made foods, and the problems that they bring with them. If you stick to a diet basically of like whole foods, right? If you're, again, in the grocery store, they talk about, staying to the outside, the perimeter, where the vegetables are, where the meats are. If you can, if it comes from the earth or has a mother, you're in pretty good shape, right? It's pretty good for you. If it's something that your grandparents or great-grandparents could have found and ate, it's probably good for you. If it's something that comes in a box, in a bag, in a jar, with a list of ingredients longer than you can read, it's probably not good for you, and you should probably stay away from it. So again, I think there's a lot of information out there, and just making sure you've got the right information and making your decisions based on that. Because again, I think growing up, Mom tried really hard to do what she felt was best for us, but I think sometimes we were working with bad information, and so those things can have consequences over time. So again, if you got any questions, if you're looking to lose a little weight and need some help, need some coaching, let me know. Love to help you with that. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everybody's happy. Hope everybody's healthy. And hope everybody has a great week this week. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.